Let me make sure I copy the link. All right, we got some folks coming in little by little.
Oh, no problem.
While folks are coming in, let me turn this down.
Now you're in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Where in Sac do you stay?
Actually, I'm in Elk Grove, brother.
Okay, I'm born and raised 21st and Florida.
Yeah, I've checked you out on O'Shea Jackson's program. He says he's from Sacramento.
He's from Sac too. He's from Del Paso Heights.
Oh, Del Paso Heights. I know it well. That's cool, brother. Now let me turn this down. You reside in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm in Atlanta right now. Correct. I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. And I'm gonna wait for folks. What I wanted to do, brother, what I wanted to tell you is I was first introduced to you through watching O'Shea Jackson's program, brother.
Okay.
I know you guys, I've watched you guys have various debates about various issues.
Right.
Some things I don't agree with. Sometimes that that the brother says sometimes, and then there's some things that I do agree with what he says. That's how life works.
Yeah, exactly.
That was how I first noticed you, and it led me to checking out your channel. And I was really blown away because a lot of the things that you're doing, brother, are things that I have aspirations to do. And that's particularly, I have my passport, so I'm not scared to travel. But my aspirations is to.
That's the first step. A lot of people don't have a passport.
Yeah. So my goal is not to just jump over to Europe, but I want to hit some of the beautiful countries in Africa. But I've heard you say this: do your research. Before you go, do your research. Find out what fits you. Find out what's going on. What is the economy like? What is the money involved? Travel time. So these are things that I'm already researching right now.
Okay.
And I did a video with a sister named Nicole Ali, and I wish I had her on here with us. If she comes into the chat room, I'm going to probably bring her on.
That's cool. Absolutely.
We did a video about travel groups, about how Black folks, we need to create travel groups. And there are some prominent travel groups out there that are particularly focusing on the continent of Africa in terms of connecting ourselves back to our culture. And one of the things that I'm under the belief of, brother, and tell me if I'm wrong or right and how you feel about this, is that a lot of times when I did a video about Black folks going back to Africa, and I've gotten some negative feedback from people that would say, don't go over there. Black folks don't come from Africa. You heard it all. It's kind of funny how Black folks would tell Black folks not to go there because it's a bad place, but yet you got the Chinese, as you already know, and you got the Europeans all over it. Now, I know the brother that you talked to said that it ain't what we think it is in terms of they're all over the place, but we can't deny that they're there. And so, what is your opinion about that, brother?
No, let's start off with these pseudo groups,
Okay.
as far as pseudo Hebrews and pseudo natives. We're here in America, man, especially Black Americans. I think a lot of us are just dealing with an identity crisis. And we want to be everything but Black, because I think being ambiguous as far as, I'm a Hebrew national, Moor, Israelite, native, Cherokee from Turtle Island, I guess sounds more sexier just saying you're African. And then also too, a lot of us have bought into the narrative that we've been, I guess, fed in regards to Africa is just this just this land that's, full of people who are hungry and starvation and disease and lions and, elephants just roaming the streets, and it's dangerous, and AIDS and Ebola. So they think, they're under the impression, I guess, okay, I don't want to be associated with that. So therefore, let me come up with, this alternative, in which, this fantasy, or, let me romanticize me being, again, an indigenous Hebrew, Moor, Israelite, native Cherokee from Turtle Island, so that's what's going on. As far as the travel groups to Africa, I know there's Brother Bomani Tahimba. I know who puts on a tour. I mean, this is pretty much what he does. He has a tour in which he takes people, throughout West Africa. I know he's been to Ethiopia a couple times with his group. He's currently, I think he's in Ghana right now, actually, as we speak. So, there are people who are on the ground who are doing it, who are, bringing Black Americans, to Africa to introduce them to, Africa. Because a lot of people have a lot of questions. A lot of people don't know where to get started. That's why I came up with my platform. Just started it from people. I remember I posted a couple videos or pictures years back of me, going to Africa, and people just started asking questions. And I said, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and create a platform where I can connect the diaspora with Africa. So,
as people are coming into the chat, brother, introduce, and we should have probably started off like this, but let everybody know, what does the word searching for Uhuru, if I have it right?
Search for Uhuru. Search for Uhuru. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
What does that mean? What does that represent? Why should we see it as relevant in our lives as Black people in America?
Yeah, well, for me, I can't search for Uhuru. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, the first time I traveled to Africa, I went to Tanzania back in 2012. And, I told them I was Black American, and they were like, well, okay, well, where are you from? What tribe are you from? And I'm just like, I'm Black American, and I think when I was in Tanzania, they really didn't have because you have to understand about Africa too, the slave trade isn't really taught, really. So to them, me not knowing what tribe I'm from, that was odd to them. So I'm like, wow. So I didn't really need to research this stuff. So I did the DNA test, but I really want to take it a step further and really, kind of like what Skip Gates does, as far as really find out names and dates and actual tribes, of people, of where I'm from and which tribes we were really from. DNA is a good start, but it doesn't really give you all of the facts. So Uhuru, searching for Uhuru, is really searching for that freedom of knowing where you are, where you're from. Also searching is really just, outside of knowing where you're from, just having a peace of mind. When I'm in Africa, like I'm at peace. I feel free when I'm there. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you're not in the I would say the rat race every day, like you're here in America when you're Africa. There's certain things you don't have to worry about. Like, you're not gonna have. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a daughter, but 10 years old, just one child.
Okay. Yeah. So like, you don't have to have that conversation as far as hands up, don't shoot. And, okay, when you engage police, make sure you don't have your hood up, or, make sure your hands aren't in your pocket. Just little things like that you don't have to worry about. So, yeah.
Let me ask you, I've been moving around and fidgeting because I'm trying to fix, we're on Facebook Live too. So we got folks from Facebook Live on listening. People are coming into the chat little by little. That's why I'm trying to fix this camera I got on this other computer here, but excuse me. One of the things I want to ask you, you said something very on point, and that is, I didn't realize until I watched your show, brother, that Africans, people in the continent are not taught about the slave trade or the system that brought us over here. Now, I'm saying, is that correct? That they're not taught that in school? Situation?
It's very surface level. You know, it's very like, hey, you know, when the European came before they colonialized us, you know, for the most part, they took some of our brothers and sisters and you know, sent them to America as slaves. You know, then it is really brushed over. Honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with, you have to understand, a lot of the tribes are still there. Because I mean, you know, a lot of times we try to romanticize the slave trade in regards to, you know, we were just stolen and, you know, Africans had no role in it, but Africans were complicit. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. What about I've always heard that the Arabs, and we know the Portuguese were involved, right?
Right, of course.
And tell me if I'm wrong or right, brother, through your research. I've learned that a lot of Black people who came out of the continent were brought in through Salvador, Brazil, by way of the Portuguese, and a majority of Black folks were dropped off in South America, not really America.
Correct.
4% of us, I believe. Am I correct?
Right. So the majority of slaves, they first came to Brazil. Then from Brazil, they went to the Caribbean and were distributed from there. But yeah, the Brazil was pretty much, I would say, the main hub for slaves, for slave trade. And then they were distributed. I mean, kind of like, I mean, you know, if I don't know, if you're selling shirts, you know, they come from China, you know, you might have a, I would say a distribution center in Atlanta. Then from Atlanta, the shirts are distributed across America. I mean, that's how it was. The slaves, which were pretty much, we were, you know, items, you know, product or whatever. We came to Brazil. Then from Brazil, we were distributed elsewhere. But yeah.
Wow. What has been your biggest challenge traveling to the continent as someone who was born here in America? Do people see you as a stranger there? When you first initially went over there, I saw your pictures. You seem to have made connections with people over there and networked. But when you first initially went over there, were you nervous? How did they perceive you at first?
Well, number one, when you first arrive, they're not gonna know where you're actually from, you know. So when I first arrived, they thought, I mean, they're gonna think you're one of them.
Okay.
And then when you open your mouth, they assumed I was either Nigerian or I was South African, and then I had to tell them I was Black American. So I've been welcomed with open arms. You know, absolutely no issues, no problems. I'm not saying it's perfect. I mean, but you know, I personally haven't had any issues.
Okay. Now, what led you? This is a very important question. What led you down this journey? I mean, what was the thing that the light bulbs that turned on in your mind? And did you go to Georgia University?
Yeah, I went to University of Georgia in Athens.
And if I'm not mistaken, brother, would you play football at the University of Georgia?
I played football and ran track.
Okay, brother. So you were an athlete. Okay. Okay, cool. What led you, given the fact that you were playing football and you know all the trappings of being an athlete on a college campus can
Oh yeah, absolutely. I partake in a lot of the trappings.
Oh my God. So what happened, man? What transformed you?
I don't know, man. I think for me, you know, after college, I did insurance. I got into I got into modeling. You know. LA, chased that a little bit. Wasn't, you know, I just didn't like the industry, the direction it was going and how it treated Black people, especially Black men.
Yes.
You know, and then when it was in corporate America and was doing very well, and a buddy of mine told me, you know, why don't you take a vacation? Because I was doing very well. He's like, oh, go travel somewhere. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna do that. So I ended up, I wanted to go to Brazil. because I mean, black man would, well, they said go to Brazil and get you a villa and get you a bunch of big booty Brazilian girls.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I was gonna go, and then a good friend of mine who I was gonna go with, she backed out. I'm like, damn, okay, well, I'm not gonna go by myself because I don't know anybody. So a buddy of mine, he was like, why don't you go to Tanzania? I said, okay, all right, no problem. Where's Tanzania? And he was like, East Africa, you should go. You should go. So I researched it. And I said, all right, I'm gonna go check it out. So I ended up going and fell in love.
Fell in love. Wow. That was just, and you just went over there by yourself. Because when I was in college, a lot of my friends that I have today, they just keep telling me, man, get a plane ticket. Don't be scared. Get on that plane and go fly. Go where you want to go. A lot of times, one of my problems, brother, is that I don't really like to travel alone. You know what I'm saying?
I love to travel alone.
That's one of my fears too. And then people that I've known through the years, when you say, hey, let's go over to the continent, Africa, you'd be surprised how many black folks will just disappear on you. And you'd be like, hey,
yeah,
we're down with the trip. And they just like have excuses. And that's one of our problems in America is as black people, we make excuses, it seems to be, in a lot of our life, whether it be traveling, or we always talk about what we're going to do,
right?
But we never do it. And I'm generalizing, of course. I know that there's black folks out there that are trailblazing like yourself, going, but there's a lot of us that are like have this village mentality,
right?
And I lived in Oakland. Let me just let you know a little bit background about me. I lived in San Francisco for about 26 years. Went to college there. Lived in Oakland for 10. Originally from Baltimore, Maryland, where most of all my family resides now. And there are black people, you ain't gonna believe what I'm saying to you.
And maybe they haven't left like the neighborhood
Oakland that have never even been to San Francisco.
Right, I believe you. I know.
And it's just unbelievable, man, how we limit ourselves, in our thinking and our travel.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I believe you. I mean, yeah, there's black people that haven't left their immediate neighborhood. Yeah, that's. I mean, to us, it seems crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the reality for a lot of people, a lot of our people.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Now, how did you make the connections when you went over into the continent? Well, when you went over there, how did you make friends with people? How did you develop a networking with folks to the point, like when I watch your programs, you bring, fantastic people on your program who are doing fantastic things. You're networking with people. You're getting information that most of us here in America don't get because we look at this corporatized media, your CNNs, your MSNBCs and such. And most of our view of a continent of Africa comes from a Western point of view, which I feel plays into our psyche. And I have this thing where I always say that in America, we have a thing called cultural conditioning, in which we'll see white as superior, black as inferior, and out of the manifestation of that cultural conditioning, we'll underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize black people. White people will marginalize us, and black people will marginalize themselves through that cultural conditioning, which we get that lens through this media that we have in this country that always paints the continent and paints black people as either savage, something's wrong with us, we're pathological. I mean, where are you at on that, brother? I know I said a mouthful there.
Yeah. Repeat the question again.
I was just basically saying that part of the pathology is that we've been culturally conditioned in America, especially black folks, to reinforce our own inferiority.
Right.
Brought upon us by, for example, I remember I'm a Generation Xer, 48 years old. I remember growing up with the Tarzan movies.
Right.
That was the view that I had of Africa as being this savage place.
Right. And then white man comes in and
white man comes in to save the day, which made no sense when I look back at it now. And I remember when I was a kid, if you were to call a black person an African, that was time to fight. Okay. Fight because of the conditioning to make you think that something African or anything about Africa is negative. Right.
Right.
And you would hear terms like, "Oh, you're an African a booty scratcher," whatever the hell that meant, right? And so those are some of the words and language that we used at the time I grew up that I feel has sort of conditioned some Black people to have this fear to do exactly what you did when you had your epiphany and you went over to the continent and you got a different view of the landscape. So what are your thoughts about that cultural conditioning?
Yeah, I mean that definitely is a problem, but I think in 2018 with the amount of access we have and free access to the internet, we can't really use that as an excuse anymore to get up and go.
You're right. We got that. Yep, we got that.
Just research it with your phone. I mean, if you're on Facebook, just reach out to somebody who lives in that country and you can get firsthand information.
Okay.
So we can't really use that as an excuse anymore. Now, back in the day, yeah, it's different because all we really had to rely on was Encyclopedia Britannica and the TV. But now, again, I mean, you're a click away from anybody on this planet for the most part.
Okay.
So,
all right. Let me ask you, out of all the different countries in the continent that you have had the privilege of being able to travel to and explore and interact with the people, which is your favorite?
Senegal. Best food, love the culture, love the people. I would say Senegal.
Okay. Wow. Now, best food, the way the people treat you the best there?
Yeah, I mean, people all over are nice, but I just fell in love with I fell in love with Senegal. That's my favorite place.
Okay. And do you have any plans, brother? I've heard you talk about this. Do you have any plans to move there permanently, or do you have property or business ventures there?
I want to buy a property there, hopefully next year. Buy a property there in Senegal.
Okay. Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
The American dollar or currency that we have here, like I'm going to retire someday soon from I work with the state.
Okay.
We got a pension program and all those sort of things.
I still have that as sacred. Yes, you guys still have pension in
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think.
Well, let me ask you this. How long have you been with the state?
Go ahead. 16 years, brother.
Okay. But the people who are just starting, do they get a pension too or no?
Yes, but it's not the same as what I'm going to get. I got grandfathered in after 2006. They made some changes and manipulated some things. So, but I'm thinking about, and I'm thinking about, man, that when I retire, California is so expensive that
it's ridiculous, man. I think it's me and the brother oh man, goodness, Q, right? Q. Yeah, so I was talking to Q. I'm trying to his show. What's the name of Q's show? Goodness, help me out. I think somebody has a question in the. What's up? IC. What's Q's show? What's the name of show? Mr. Research. Mr. Research.
Yeah, Mr. Research. That's right.
The Q. I think California might be in a bubble because I mean it just doesn't make sense. I mean the amount of money you have to make in California, especially like in the Bay Area in LA, to live a middle class life. I mean, when I left LA, I mean, it's ridiculous. So something is going to have to give because even Sacramento was getting expensive.
Well, I moved down to the Sacramento area in 2004. I was married at the time, and it was a hell of a lot cheaper then than now because what's happening is, people are leaving the Bay Area, they're getting further and further away.
Right.
Oakland has dipped. 25% of the Black population in Oakland has dipped down because it's being gentrified as we speak.
Right.
The situation with the barbecue and all that was going on.
Oh yeah.
And San Francisco, Black folks are almost non-existing in San Francisco.
Extinct. Yeah.
We're still pushed out to the Hunters Point area, the Trail Hill area. I lived in the Fillmore area for many, many years.
Fillmore is completely gentrified from what I understand.
I mean, I go back to the Pink Panther. I mean, the Pink Palace. I'm sorry, the Pink Palace in San Francisco. That was a notorious project.
Okay.
It's the most safest place to live now. It's like a retirement home facility for older people, but wow. It has changed in San Francisco. And that was one of the reasons why when I was married, we moved towards the Sacramento area because, you know, we wanted to buy a home. It was cheaper, start a new life, supposedly better schools, you know, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And I stay in this area primarily because of my commitment to my child. And I have no drama to deal with. But I'm really considering as I get close to retirement that I need to leave California to really make my retirement really
because I mean
quality.
Like I said, unless you know this bubble pops, because I mean it's just the prices in California, it's just ridiculous. Like I was reading an article somewhere, like a zombie house that needs to be torn down on a small parcel of land in some places in the Bay Area are going for like over $1 million. That's crazy.
And you know what's also happening, brother, as they built the
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, brother. Who's buying this stuff?
Whoo! I'm gonna just say this to you. There's a lot of foreign investors that have come into California that are buying up everything. Do you know that the Sacramento, where they have the state fair at the Cal Expo?
The Cal Expo.
Remember Schwarzenegger, or can't even say his damn name. I never liked him as a governor.
Right.
He actually put up a proposal to sell off the Cal Expo to foreign entities. There are so many properties in this country, like our state parks, that are owned by the Chinese and other foreign entities that are buying up the property. America is completely, as a corporation, it's completely for sale. So there's a lot of things that we're using every day that are not even owned by us. There are corporations that are buying up these properties. I know when Sacramento got hit really heavy by the housing market,
right,
and everything went topsy-turvy. Hell, I went upside down in my property, not on any fault of my own, but because people around me in my neighborhood were losing their property.
Right.
And I had to get out of mine after my divorce. I had to get out of it. And what I saw in Sacramento, or what I witnessed, is that you had corporations coming in. The banks would hold on to it, so they weren't losing any money. Corporations would come in and buy up the property and use it for their employees to stay in, you know, here and there. Yeah. So a lot of these properties are not actually owned a lot of the time by just some family. Okay. A lot of times these corporations are buying it up. So because America's for sale, that's part of the problems of capitalism. And what's saying that, let me ask you this question. This is related to what we're talking about.
Go ahead.
What is the economics in Africa, in some of the countries that you've explored, in terms of housing? What sort of government do they operate off of? Are they in a capitalist system, or they are socialist system in some of the countries? What is their systems in some of those countries?
I mean, it's capitalist. I mean, of course, you know, if you got a checkbook, I mean, if you got an open checkbook, you can pretty much buy anything you want. I mean, it's very similar to America. I know there are some, like in Tanzania, only in Tanzania and a lot of countries in Africa, only you have to be a citizen to buy land or real estate or own a home. But if you are in the business sector, I mean, you could pretty much open up a business, you know, pretty much throughout.
Okay.
But there are some checks and balances. But I mean, people would be surprised, especially on the right, the conservatives. They would be surprised to know how much China actually. In fact, I need to dig into that as far as how much China actually owns here in America. Because I was finding out, like, you know, China owns like pretty much all of the theaters here in America.
Yes.
Or a Chinese company.
But they've got a big foothold, and you know this, brother. They got a big foothold in California, all the way up to the great Northwest.
Right.
They're big. They're big. They're very strong, like in the Seattle, Washington area. Because when I lived in San Francisco, do you know? Let me give you a little history, brother. You may know this too. Do you know that the Chinatown in San Francisco was the original part of the black community before the Chinese got there?
I didn't know, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, my mother, there's a tour. I don't know if they do this anymore, but there was a tour in San Francisco where they take black people around to hidden areas that were part of history as it relates to black people. And a big part of Chinatown, that it was not a Chinese community. Somehow black people got pushed, as you know, coming out of World War II, they got pushed over to the Fillmore area. They always put us in these undesirable places. Like in Hunters Point, you had the naval shipyards there. And a lot of black folks got to these communities coming out of the military. Well, right now, the Navy left a lot of environmental hazards in Hunters Point with that naval shipyard. When I lived in Oakland, West Oakland, which is now getting ready to become gentrified, because what I noticed is that white folks love to live anywhere that's near the transportation, that's near water, with views. They want West Oakland badly, but there are environmental hazards in West Oakland that were left there after the '89 earthquake. And the military said, oh, you can have the land. Then Oakland found out that, oh, it's going to cost us millions of dollars to remove these hazardous materials. And then this is a shame what happens to us as black people. Then when you look at Richmond, California.
Now, Richmond, I used to go to the Hilltop Mall. Somebody told me that area is gentrified now.
Yeah, it is. But there's environmental problems there too, brothers. Do you know that in Richmond, California, as well as what's the other one? Antioch, California. There have been high counts of black women having breast cancer because both environments, as you know, with the industrial areas in Richmond, that's polluting people. And then I had a brother who used to be in the military who told me, if you buy a house in the Bay Area as a black person, stay away from the Antioch area because the military shut their base down and they left drones under the ground, waste in the ground. And there are nuclear materials secretly that come through that neighborhood at night based from the military. So why I'm bringing this up to you to make it relevant to our conversation, brother, is that these are the sort of reasons why when black people say, hey, I'm not moving to Africa or anywhere else because hell, we're dying over here, brother. From environmental racism. So when black people say that, they need to shame on them because we're dying over here.
Right, exactly.
I mean, we got conveniences here, you know. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
The irony. I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, me and the brother Amir Ra were on earlier today, and then me and Kyle Genesis were on yesterday. And we were just speaking on the basketball player in Minnesota. Was it Minnesota? No, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that all the time. You pull up to a store like 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody's there. You're just gonna run in and run out. So you just pull up to the front, because you're running in and running out. That's a simple parking ticket. This cop calls back up, 6 cops show up, and he gets tased. But you're worried about Africa. I mean, you look at the mortgage crisis, in 2008, 2009.
Yes.
How black people were affected by that. You don't have issues like that in Africa. So yeah, it's just, again, a lot of it just has to do with ignorance, and a lot of it just has to do with, people just not researching and knowing what's really going on a global scale. I mean, from my understanding, maybe 5% of black people, even that, have passports. But if you when the new J's drop and I drive by Foot Locker, that line will be wrapped around the building.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've seen it because where I live here in Atlanta, there's a mall up the street, Foot Locker, Athlete's Foot. What's the other one? There's, and when the J's drop, the Space Jams, that line will be wrapped around a building, and there'll be a couple fights breaking out.
Exactly. Well, I think black people, we suffer from a couple of things. We suffer from a Messiah complex. We're looking for someone to lead us because that's kind of how the Christian church or religion has kind of shaped our brains, our mind. And we also suffer from a system in which we beg for what we get what we want. We go and get what we want, but we beg for what we need. So if we say, hey, we need computers for kids in school, we're begging the politicians and saying, please, help our schools, fund us. But then we're willing to spend the money to go get the expensive shoes, Jordans, or whatever luxury car we want, or hot shoes or pants at the time. We'll spend the money.
Right.
When it comes to education for our kids, investing in ourselves, then we're begging and saying, we need this. Can somebody help us? We really have that that issue. Now, I'm saying that in terms of, yes, we have black folks, like black men and women like yourself, who are learned, who are educated, who are aware, who are conscious. And then you got those that sort of, they're sort of what I would call have a reality show mentality. And the minute you talk to them about this sort of stuff, they kind of get turned off. But if I'm talking about let's get high, where's the weed, where's the drink, where's the women, they're right there.
Right.
You know? And I've lost friends, man. I know over the years there's people that I used to have good interaction with, and I know over the years I've lost friends because the more that I've become aware, and I'm not interested in that which is negative anymore to myself and to my community and my family. The more people that I've been around that are like this, they tend to want to get away from me like the plague, and I'm fine with that. You know, I'm very fine with that. I rather discriminate for the best and have people around me who can help build me up mentally, make me aware of what's going on, educate me, and encourage me to explore the world outside of the matrix of America, you know?
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at with that. It was something I wanted to ask you too. Darn, so much, my brother, that was on my mind.
It'll come back to you.
The people they treat you well. You like, now, wait a minute. I know what I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
I specifically looked at some videos that you did about your distaste for South Africa. You said that South Africa is sort of like a European country.
It might as well be.
Break that down, brother.
Well, you know, in the 60s, you know, Africa started to experience across the continent, it's them gaining independence.
Okay.
You know, South Africa didn't gain its independence until I think 94. That's when apartheid ended.
Okay.
But with that being said, you know, still to this day, Europeans pretty much control the wealth, the economics, the land. You know, they're supposed to have land reform, supposed to come up here shortly, but I don't. That's going to be interesting to see how that actually plays out. Literally, I was at the airport in Joburg, Johannesburg, and I was leaving the airport, I believe, and one of the black baggage handlers told me that, you know, pretty much South America is just like South Africa is pretty much America. Because again, you have a predominantly black country. Miss George, you want me to? Okay, you have a predominantly black country in which the minority, the white minority and Indian minority,
yes,
control the majority of wealth and resources.
Wow.
In fact, I would just say control all the wealth and resources. So yeah. So that was interesting.
That's one of the reasons why when you were interviewing this earlier this morning for me, the brilliant brother that you had on.
Amin Ra. Grandmaster Amin Ra.
I have to respectively, I kind of disagree with him. I know he was saying that we have been painted a picture here in America, as black people, of wrong narratives about what the Chinese are doing in Africa, that we've been painted wrong narratives about what they have in Africa. Because you asked him a question about about black people going over to the continent and helping to build it or build it up. And he's saying, well, it doesn't need to be built because there is already infrastructure. And he was saying also that the Chinese are doing great business. But one of the things that was really going through my mind is that, well, what is that great business? Because
what is that? Right. How are Africans actually going to benefit from it? Because I mean, the thing is, like John Henry Clark said, we have no friends.
Okay.
You know, so that's number one. And then number two, you know, when non-Africans come to Africa, they're not coming there to, I would say, conduct business where both parties are I would say, walk away with an equal exchange. They're coming to see seeing how much they could get for nothing, little or nothing. So, again, I don't agree with everything China's doing in Africa. I don't see how it's going to benefit Africa in the long term, but I just think Africans are in a position now where they're kind of forced to go this route because of just mismanagement.
Okay, let me ask you this, and tell me if you agree with my point of view on this, or you disagree, or hey, this is how we learn, brother. I personally believe, okay, when you look at there's a brother that I listen to, and I'm gonna tell you right now, brother, I implore you to check his channel out. His name is Keith Newsom. I ring this all the time. He has a channel. His channel is just basically Keith Newsom. He's out of Florida. He gets into the anthropology, the science of being black, and he talks about the DNA. This brother is very, very brilliant. And YouTube, Facebook, they've been trying to shut him down every time because he's getting deep under the surface. His whole thing is that this planet, that black people, as melanated people, that we come from out of what they call dark matter. Okay, that we weren't created, that we come from the dark matter, which is God given. Like, so when you look at black holes, okay, and black holes are actually made of melanin. They've done studies on this, right? Which is partially what created the universe when they talk about the Big Bang Theory. And that he talks about how, you have the African unk, that the black woman operates off of dark matter. Black man operates off of light matter when we come together as one, okay, and one spirit. And his whole philosophy is that the planet is going through changes. The environment is going through changes. And that there are people on this planet, like the Chinese, that are not, his philosophy is that they're not too long to be on this planet, that this planet is changing. And with that change, they are not going to be able to survive on this planet. And when you look at China right now, what's going on over there? They've got bad pollutants. Right. They have a poor class, very poor class over there. And I personally believe, like what Europeans are doing when they're trying to like take spaceships to other parts of the world, other planets, they're trying to travel, their whole goal is to go to planet Mars, right? And as you know, when white men go into space travel affects them. Their bones are affected by space travel. But black men or black women, if we were to travel, and they've done these studies, when we go into space, we're not impacted by space travel, by being in that universe. Which is some of the reasons why he feels that we as black people, when you talk about this extraterrestrial thing, we are the very thing that we're looking for. We are that energy, that dark energy that from the dark matter that we come from. And so what I'm trying to say to you is I believe that the Chinese are over in Africa because, one, they know that they can't survive in their own country too long because the climate and the environment is being destroyed. So why not colonize Africa and see this is what happens, which is why I disagree with your guess. Yeah, they're coming in and they're doing good business at first, right? And that's been the history. Let me befriend you and act like I'm your friend and give you a few trinkets and let me wine and dine your leadership. And then once I get in and then I can infiltrate you little by little, and I'll take land little by little by little by little. And then eventually, like what happened to the Africans in the past, the people come over, they bring religion and guns, and next thing you know, the Africans have the Bible, but they don't have their land, but they got religion. Right. The mercenary or the whatever the ladies that come over there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, brother.
Yeah, I got you. The Jomo Kiana quote. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm all over the place right now, but I got a method to my madness.
Go ahead, I'm here.
I really believe that the Chinese have a hidden plan, because if you ever read the book, The Art of War,
didn't they write that shit?
Yes, they wrote that shit. So who's to say, and all due respect to your guests, and who's to say that the Chinese are not using the art of war on Africa by befriending them at first, doing good business, as he says, and maybe in a few more years, their real plan will take effect, because he said, hey, I've been living here for 26 years, but guess what? That's part of the book of Art of War. You be patient. You're patient before you strike. You're very patient. And the Chinese, if you look at their history, they are very patient with the way they operate. Now, if nothing I said made any sense, tell me, brother.
It makes a lot of sense. And again, I don't agree with what China's over there doing. But, you know, unfortunately, just the position that Africa's in right now, that's kind of like the best option that they have right now.
Okay.
But trust me and you are on the same page when it comes to, I would say, China's role in Africa. So yeah, no disagreement there.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. This is another disagreement I had when the honorable brother stated that Black folks don't need to build anything because it's all there. But I disagree because I believe that we as African Americans have something to contribute, and we should. What do you think?
Well, and we do have something to contribute, but it's not all there. I mean, that's why China is there, building it up. So, yeah, I just, you know, there are a few points I disagree with the brother on, but I mean, yeah, again, we do have a lot to offer. And then again, if it was all there, you wouldn't need China. So,
okay, let me ask you this question, because getting back into travel groups, when you travel over to the continent, do you go with, I don't know your situation personally, I don't know if you have a wife, children, do you go over with your family or just by yourself? Or have you created or thought about creating a travel group?
I've been going by myself. I meet people there that I know. As far as a travel group, not yet, because the way I travel is so unorthodox, and it's not really what's the word I want to use. Yeah, it's very unorthodox. It's very sporadic. There we go.
Okay, brother, explain to us your method of travel.
I mean, like nothing. I pick a country, I research it, see what's there that's interesting, and then I go. Like I'm not staying in hotels really. I try not to. I try to stay either with people I know, or sometimes I'll crash in a village. You know, as far as the day to day, like sometimes I'll wake up at 11. Sometimes I'll wake up at 7. You know, it's really not. Well, what I do, how I travel, wouldn't really be conducive for like a group tour, because there's really no organized schedule. It's just when I get there, I kind of just go as I go. So, so yeah. And then I know a lot of people who might not be comfortable as far as in sometimes my living arrangements when I go.
All right. Let me say something about your living arrangements. I can only go by the photos that I've seen of you, brother, on your videos. Mm-hmm. But what you're doing in your travel style is kind of like what I want to do. I don't want to do the tourist thing. Okay. I want to be where the people are, eat the food that the people eat, wear the clothing. I want to ingratiate myself completely, and I want to leave America completely behind me in my mind. I want to get this, as I would say, this 48 years of American poison out of my system. I want to get it out, man. And the only way to do it, I think, is not to go there like a damn tourist and do the tourist.
I agree.
So I dig what you're talking about. Now, what really blew me away is when you did the video of where Black folks, when we went through those gates to go into the middle passages where they first took us. And I remember you saying that, hey, I'm an ascendant of people that were slaves and they won't let me take footage. At first, they didn't want to let you, but then they allowed you, brother. That was a surreal experience that I looked on your video and I said, look at that. This is incredible. Every time I see that place on video, and I got to get there physically like you did, I'm always blown away. Always. And I feel like our ancestors' spirits are always with us, no matter where we live in the world, man. There's a lot of things that we do as Black people, and we don't realize that we're doing things that are being a carryover of our ancestors.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you another question. Man, my head is racing right now, but I'm going to slow down.
No, go take your time.
Your opinion of Dr. Karenga's made up holiday. People would say it's made up.
You're talking about Kwanzaa, correct?
What is your opinion of Kwanzaa?
I don't celebrate it. Like, I couldn't really tell you much about it. You know, I can't tell you much about it. You know, just honestly, I think a lot of what I've heard about Dr. Karenga has been negative, because, you know, he was involved in, I guess, the death of two. His group was involved in the murder of the two Black Panther Party members at UCLA back in the 60s.
Yes.
Or 70s or something like that. Yeah. So
part of a group. They were in opposition to the Black Panthers, and then there was a famous Black Panther who was in Los Angeles who got killed, and they blamed Dr. Karenga and his group. What was the name of his group, though?
The Us, was it the Us?
Yes. I said Move the first time, but the Move group was in Philadelphia, so that's my bad on that. You're absolutely right. Yeah, there was a lot of foolishness going on. I celebrated Kwanzaa as a child, and, you know, let's be honest, as Black people, we're always trying to seek out who we really are. That's why we go through this phase where we'll say, oh, I'm Indian, I got Cherokee in us. And we don't even realize that the Cherokee nation did not like Black people.
Exactly.
You know that, brother? Right. They didn't even like us. They hated us. But we're so quick, like you said early on in this video, in this broadcast, brother, that we're so quick to want to label ourselves anything other than what we really are. And we're proud to do it because we want to not be what we really are. And Black folks, we just have been so lost in North America. That's why we go through all these phases trying to find out who we are. But what you did, brother, is the ultimate. You took it right to the source. You went right to the source.
Exactly.
And you got it from the source and not just some book or somebody telling you. And that's what I want to tell everybody in the chat room that's listening to this right now. Break out of your fear and travel. Get your passport and break out of the fear, and don't listen to family members or people that's telling you why you want to go over there, because your family sometimes can be your worst enemy and will tell you why you want to do that. I don't know how many times I've heard people say that to me. Why you want to do this and why you want to do that. So that's my philosophy on that, brother. So
hey, I'll be Burrow Tiki. I'll be back in Dakar, Senegal in October.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Somebody in the chat room from Dakar. I'll be back in Dakar in October.
Okay. And you're working on a film, brother? A movie?
You know, I've been documenting a lot, but I need to put everything together, just one film. So I mean, that's gonna come soon. But until then, I'm just taking my camera and I'm gonna document as much as possible.
Okay. Do you have it? Do you have a GoFundMe for this venture?
I did. I took it down, but I have a Patreon or whatever you guys contribute. You know, that's gonna go towards me documenting and then eventually putting the you know, the documentary together. So
okay. Dynasty, can you do this for me, brother?
Go ahead.
When we get off, when we end this broadcast, brother, can you send me through email all your information in terms of your Patreon, everything that you've got that's related to what you do? And I know that do you write books and stuff, brother, too?
Yeah, so if you go to Amazon, type my name in, Dynasty Amir, all of my books will come up as well. Okay.
Because what I want to do when we end this is I'm gonna go back into this and I'm gonna edit this. I want to add those links in specifically for what you're doing, brother. And I want to add the link in for your channel. And I want to ask your permission, brother. Can I use because it's a fantastic picture and I want to ask you about it. I want to use that picture of you, brother, with the brothers in the black, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I want to use it as a thumbnail specifically for this video.
Oh yeah, of course. That's fine. No problem. No problem.
And how did you meet those brothers in that photo?
No, man. So I went to it's an event called the Aquaside Festival in Ghana, in Kumasi. And like those are that's the royal guard for the Asante Hene, the pretty much the king of the Ashanti people. And they were just, I guess, walking back to the palace. And I said, stop, I got to take a picture. So that's pretty much how it happened.
Okay. And once again, this is we got to drive home this point. because you've talked about this on your program. How is there a divide between African Americans and Africans from Africa that come over to America? There's always been this notion that they don't like us, we don't like them. And matter of fact, at my job, I work with a brother that's from Ghana, who I'm talking to because I'm thinking about just going to Ghana with this brother because he travels back and forth there. There's quite a few brothers from the continent that I work with that I'm talking to, and they treat me with respect, brother. So what is your opinion on that? Because where does this stuff come from? I mean, we know there's been incidents isolated, but where is this coming from?
I think on the onset, I would say your friend's parents.
Okay.
I think they were more interested in just getting to America and not offending white people for the most part.
Okay.
And so I think they understood that them connecting with Black America would be a threat to white people. So that's why they somewhat distanced themselves. And so I think a lot of us took that personal. And then naturally, I mean, Black people, we just, how can I put it? We just clown, joan, and snap on each other. That's just part of it. We clown and joke on each other, play the deserts, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
I think with Africans, it's not really like that. So when it came to joning on them and clowning on them, we would get on them because they were African. So I think a lot of them were offended by it. And so that's kind of where it went. And so, but a lot of it is changing. It's changing though. It's changing.
Okay. Let me ask you a few more questions. I know you're a busy brother.
Go ahead. That's fine. Fine. Go ahead.
What I wanted to ask you is your threads, brother, your vines that you be wearing. I love your dashikis, your outfits. Do you have some type of importing business?
Yeah. Go to dynastymirror.com.
Okay.
Okay. They're all there. dynastymirror.com.
Okay, everybody, dynastymirror.com. You can get, the brother wears some fantastic vines, as they said back in the day. And your channel, I want everybody in the chat room, because I've been telling you guys about this brother, to subscribe to his channel. Now it's search for Uhuru.
Yeah, search for Uhuru. YouTube.com/search for Uhuru.
Yeah, everybody make sure you subscribe.
Doug, I think, shout out to Doug. Doug is the greatest moderator on the planet. Doug, if you could do me a favor and put the link to my YouTube page in the chat room, Doug, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
You know what I'm gonna do, brother? Are you in Dynasty? Are you in my chat room?
I am.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a ranch, brother.
Okay.
You're a moderator, because I want to allow you to be able to put everything in here as well. But I'm still gonna put this in my editing of this video for everybody to get. Let me see if I can find you in here. Where are you?
I'm in there. I mean, Doug's not a moderator. Damn, you gotta definitely make Doug a moderator.
Okay, where's Doug at? I'll make him a moderator. So
yeah, make Doug a moderator. He'll make Doug a moderator. He'll take care of it.
Okay, Doug, you're a moderator, brother.
Yeah.
Here we go. Boom. All right, let me give it a little time to transform him into a moderator. And then Doug, do me a favor, brother, and put all the information in there for people that's in the chat room right now. And then eventually, hopefully, Brother Dynasty will send me some of that information so I can put it nicely.
Oh, well, absolutely.
What I want to do, I told everybody in the chat room and the people that will be listening to this afterwards, I want them to put this to all their social media, all of it. I'm going to be viraling this video as well, brother. And I've been promoting your channel. I don't know if you know this. I've been shouting you out, letting people know about you.
Appreciate it.
I'm very fascinated because you are unique on YouTube. There's not a lot of brothers on YouTube that are doing what you're doing. You got a lot of brothers on YouTube that talk the conscious talk, do a lot of screaming, but they're not actually stepping foot into the continent. They're not actually dealing with these issues from a very cerebral, a very calm manner, brother. You're very calm and to the point. You know, I'm not seeing you in shouting matches on your And even when I've seen you on Brother O'Shea's channel, and I've had
a couple of shouting matches there.
Yeah, but I've always seen you sort of calm and collective, brother. Hey, at first I thought you might have been an Alpha, brother. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. I thought
I'm a Kappa.
You're a Kappa?
Yeah,
oh my God.
It's all good.
Oh, it's all good, brother. You know, but I knew there was something about you. I said this brother might be a Divine Nine member. But I really want to thank you for your time, brother. There's so many things that I could ask you. I know that your time is precious, brother, but I just want to thank you for the time that you did give me.
Man, anytime, brother. Just let me know, man. No problem.
And just want to let you know, I'm going to be watching what you're doing, and I'm always telling people about your channel and what you're doing, because what you're doing is very unique. A lot of what you're doing, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm inspired by what you're doing, because a lot of what you're doing is really what I want to do. I've had an opportunity to interview a couple of brothers. This is who I want you to get on your show, not to tell you what to do.
Cool.
I did a video with a brother named Muhammad Bey, and I don't know if you've seen that video. He is himself in the process of trying to make a movie about breaking away from your fear of not traveling to the continent. And he actually is going to be living in Egypt, and he has a wife there. And I had a really good interview with him. So if you can, check it out. But I think he might be a good brother. And I got contact information for him. He might be a good brother to have on your program.
Okay.
Because he actually worked with some high up royalty types from the continent, brother. Okay. I think with the United Nations, he's been around some diplomats, and check him out. I got if you go to the video, it's I did 2 videos. I think there's 2 of them. One, Muhammad Bey, because I was kind of promoting what he was doing for him, but I have another video on Muhammad Bey where he's kind of standing by the Egyptian monuments and everything. And on that video, I interviewed him, and the brother is really on point. You might like to check him out.
Okay, I most definitely will.
So with that said, everybody in the chat room, please subscribe to brother. Search for Uhuru's channel. Doug, can you drop the links in there before we go? And hopefully everybody, when you look at this video again, you'll be able to click into the links that I'm going to put in the actual finished product today. So, brother, you got anything else you want to bless us with? Any other experiences?
I appreciate you having me on, man. We finally got to connect, man. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. Everyone, thank you for supporting the Brother Information Man Show. Thank you for supporting this platform. Make sure you subscribe to my platform as well. And yes, anytime, bro. Anytime you want me to come on, just hit me up. I'm around.
Brother, we'll do what we got to do, because I've been checking you out. You busy? You got different guests coming through all the time. So whenever we can do it again, brother. Actually, what I really want to do is have a conversation with you when I actually go to the continent myself and explore.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, let's do it.
With a better mindset from being there. Okay. So thank you, brother. Everybody out there in the chat room, thank you. You know I'm going to come back on with Mr. Research possibly, because Dynasty.
In fact, when you come on with Mr. Research, let me know. I might come on. In fact, because he just hit me up. So
I'll bring you on. We'll bring you on, because I think he said that his platform is blocked from live streaming. So I want to come on to mine, because
they stay hating on Mr. Research.
Yeah, they do, brother. And he told me, I believe that he has the sister that was filming the woman, the Becky in Oakland, that was harassing the black folks. So he told me that he wanted me to come on with him and her to talk about, I think, relationship stuff. I don't know.
Well, look, we can do this. We can do it on my platform. It doesn't matter, because he literally, Mr. Research literally hit me up before I came on here. So I need to reach back out to him.
He's been hitting me up too. So let me end this broadcast or this video audio, this right now. Between the 2 of us, let's kind of get in contact with him, because I did tell him that I was going on with you as well. So, Brother Dynasty, it's been great. I'll probably see you again very soon. Yeah. Thank you for coming on board. Everybody in the chat room, subscribe to his channel, support the brother. He's dynamic, and we'll get those links on this video soon enough. So don't forget, Brother Dynasty, just send those links to my email so I can just cut and paste them over.
I will. I'll do it.
Thank you, brother.
All right, brother.
Everybody out there, thank you. It's been great, and take care.
Peace.
Peace. Let me take the time to acknowledge everybody in the chat room. I want to thank you all. Sonia C's, Sister Logan, I C's. Oh, we got my man from what's going on, family? Let me give you a little love here. I also want to thank let me see, Doug. Okay, brother Doug is putting the links in the chat room. He's putting the links to Dynasty's channel, to his so everybody check those links out. I'm gonna keep this on True Royal Family. I will be doing a hangout at 5 p.m. today. Okay, True Royal Family, we're gonna support what you're doing too, sister. I appreciate everybody being on the program today. Let me see, brother. Peace to you. I want to thank everybody. Let me see. Everybody in the chat room that's that supported what was happening. I want to thank you for your support. I've been trying to get Brother Dynast on for a while, and there's so much more we could have talked about. But guess what? He's going to be back. We're going to talk more like this. I hope everybody enjoyed that interview. He's from the Bay Area. He's from the Bay Area like me. So we were talking about Sacramento and Oakland, San Francisco too. We threw a little bit of that in there too. So let me see who else is in the chat room before I completely put an end to this. True Royal Family. Ooh, I love you, True Royal Family. Wise Men, how you doing? Woo. Wait a minute. I need to ask this brother. I need to interview you. Let me see here. I need to. So let me see. Let me get some more. Everybody in the chat room looks fantastic. Well, we got Water Sniper in here. Good program. Thank you. Everybody, thank you. I'm reading your comments. True Royal Queen, we will be talking about sex. Ooh, True Royal Queen. You said we're going to be talking about sex. Woo, woo. Woo, I say. Does anybody want to come in and talk to me for a minute? Let's do a Q&A. Let me put a little link in the chat room. I'm going to put a link in the chat room before I end this. Do a little quick Q&A with some folks. You can come on in and we can talk for a minute or so. Let me put the link in there. Fantastic show today. True Royal Queen, come on in if you want to. Let's do a little Q&A before I end it. I want to get y'all opinions about things. Somebody can come on in. Talk to me. Come on in, brother. Hey, Cap, what's up, Information Man? Did I miss it again? Yeah, you did miss it again, but that's all right, Cap. You can listen to it you can look at it on the replay. Oh, they go Be Fabulous. Be Fabulous. Everybody subscribe to Be Fabulous program. Subscribe to each other. Subscribe away to each other. Subscribe to each other. Let me see. Anybody want to come in and talk to me? Let me bring this brother in. My African brother from China. Come on in and talk to me for a minute. I want to set up a time that I can interview you, brother. Come on into the chat room. Come in to my panel. Here's the link again, brother. I want to talk to you real quick. Come on in the chat room so I can talk to you real quick, brother. I know you're over there in China. You heard me talking about China. Let's see. I got this brother. I got another brother trying to come in. Hang on, folks. Let me put this link in there. Hey, brother, I was just broadcasting live. How you doing, brother Gab Talk Media?
Peace, brother. Peace, brother. I missed most of the show today.
Yeah, I had brother Dynasty on from Search for Uhuru.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, I see there's some feedback. Yeah, I'm getting a little feedback. But look, brother, I would love for we got to get together and do a live stream together, brother, when we have a chance. And I like what you're trying to do with your series that you're doing, that you're going to be getting ready to do, or you have been doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be awesome, man. Let me know when you're ready, and we can talk. We can freestyle about that, because that's just something live, you know, that's ongoing.
Yes.
That topic right there. I think the Black community is in denial sometimes about it.
Yeah, brother, they can hear you right now. I'm still streaming because I'm still talking to the folks in the chat room before I end this. But they can hear you with the good words that you're saying. So we're gonna set something up, brother, me and you, and we're gonna freestyle about a variety of issues. But primarily, we're gonna do something that I hear you say all the time, which is we need to deal with solutions. Solutions. So thank you, brother. Let me I'm gonna have to end our chat right now so that I can finish up what I'm doing here, and then we're going to be going back on pretty soon. I'm going to be going on soon with brother Research, because I think he has the sister that was the one that was filming the white woman that was bothering or harassing the black folks in Oakland. So I think he might be bringing her on. I believe it may be her, brother. So I will be in contact with you, brother, and bring it in. And look, check this out. Anytime I see you in the chat room, brother, and we're talking about deep issues, I'm going to invite you right into the chat, brother.
Absolutely. Only time I won't do it is if I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Oh yeah, brother. When you got family, I understand. You're a family man. All right, brother. Thank you. Take care. Peace. All right. I send the link. I need my African brother that's over there in China to come into the link and talk to me. Nobody want to talk to me? I'm sad. Nobody want to talk to me.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You scared me. What's going on? Let me click over. How you doing?
I'm
True
doing
Royal Family. Tell everybody what you're doing tonight.
Okay, on my Hangout channel, we're gonna be talking about sex, because I said that I was gonna do a series of hangouts about sex. I often say that our bodies are royal. It will be a healthy conversation. It will the route that I'm going may surprise y'all, but we got to get into it. It might even be a little bit uncomfortable. It may be painful, but we have to talk about the values of our royal bodies.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you for this topic because it's very important. So I want to tell you right now, for everybody to hear, you've been inspirational to me, sister. And so whenever I look at your videos or hear the things that you say, the way you talk about our people, you're inspiring me. You're changing a thought process, how we think, how we see ourselves. And so I really appreciate everything that you are.
Thank you, my king. Just to let people know that's new to my channel, my main channel is the True Royal channel. I'm out of YouTube jail, and then my hangout channel, which I got the avatar in there, is True Royal. And the reason why I'm constantly saying my royal family, and the reason why I constantly address y'all as my king or my queen, because we are subjugated every millisecond. Somebody is doing something foul to us. So I'm constantly staying in your psyche to remind you that you come from the kingdom. We did not come from no damn huts. I want y'all to remember that.
That's right.
We came from palaces. That hut stuff was after the fact. So we all are inspiring each other. We're not in competition with each other here or anything. We just talking about different subjects. And I have been talking about how precious and royal our bodies is and the value of our bodies. And we also got to let our royal babies know, especially our sons, to value his seeds, and our little queens to value their golden eggs. We don't give those things up and stuff like that. But this conversation I'm going to be having on part 1 is going to be it might be a little bit rough, but it's going to be healthy. So I'm not coming in a derogatory fashion or anything. I would anybody is welcome on the panel. They can talk about whatever they need to talk about, and y'all see what direction. I want to say that for myself. Y'all see what direction that I'm going with this, and I don't know how long the series is going to last, but hopefully it will be healing. But remember, your bodies is royal. We are royalty, and I take this stuff serious. This ain't no joke to me. I take this real serious, very serious.
Well,
so
what I'm going to try to do, because Mr. Research has been getting in contact with me, I want to do what we're going to do right now, because the time is still young. It's only like what, a little bit after what? Let me see. It's like 2:21. So I'm going to try to get on with him in the system so that we can do our discussion, and then I want to run right over to your channel at 5 o'clock to be ready for your program.
Yeah, and you know, I do the music thing and all that stuff like that. So you ain't gonna miss nothing. You know how I do.
Yeah. But the time is still young right now, because he wanted to go on a long time with me until I told him I had this interview with Brother Dynas. So soon as I end this right now with you, I'm gonna connect with him so that we can do, because he he's blocked right now, so he can't do anything. So he's talking about using my platform to talk about
people that got channels out there. Y'all gotta have some backup channels. Y'all gotta be gangster with this shit. Because I ended up losing a channel being so green, because I had did a whole series just for kings, and I've been hacked twice. Some of y'all know what didn't happen to me. And if you gotta have 4 or 5 channels, but I do put my videos up consistently on Black Junction and on Black Spot. Consistently, I give them just as much energy as YouTube, and ultimately I will be making that mass exodus and going to a Black platform eventually. Yes, because we the one to bring the customers.
Yeah, I'm on the Black Junction. So if something happens to me on YouTube before I can gangster my channels, you'll find me on Black Junction. I just need to take a day and just do it. I got to do it. I got to produce them. Now, when you do other channels, don't they ask for different phone numbers and all that kind of stuff? Don't they ask for different?
When you do a second channel, you're gonna have a second. You got to have another email and all of that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But the way it's gonna be set up, when you're in and out of your however many channels you have, you could if you're on the you could just interchangeably just hit your each avatar and you're on your channels. It's just one click and you're just on your other channel. It's real easy. That's why you see me interchangeable coming in and out. Like right now, I'm showing everybody my True Royal avatar, because that's my hang up channel. And then as I'm speaking, just with and it'll say switch accounts. I'm hitting switch accounts right now as I speak. And, as I'm talking to the royal family, and y'all used to seeing this avatar, and I'm saying hi right now to everyone quick.
When we get a chance, Queen, we got to have a private conversation. I got your number. I was trying to contact you, but you were, of course, in LA. You know, you were with your family and all of that. But we have a chance to talk privately, because I know, it was going to your voicemail, understandably. So when we have a chance, let's have a private talk and also meet up, because we live too damn close to each other.
Yeah, we're real close. Yeah, we're really, really close. So it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. So everybody in the chat room that's listening, I'm going to try to make contact with Mr. Research. There's a possibility that he has made contact with the sister that was involved with the Becky in Oakland. She was the one that was Feminette Becky. So I think that he's made contact with her, and she might be the one that's going to be on. But I think he was saying that he was cool with bringing her back on, coming onto my channel, because he's blocked from using his live stream. So I'm going to try to make contact with him, get him.
You talking about the actual Becky that did the shit?
No, I think he's got
the white girl that's married to that one because Becky on Black Junction somebody emailed me like a 20-second video, and Becky was caught at the airport with her wife bouncing. She didn't left Oakland. I knew she was going to leave Oakland.
They get the hell out of Oakland. You're right. But I think the woman that was filming her saying, "Give me back my card. Give me back my card."
Oh, her.
I think that's the woman, because he kept telling me, "Hey, I want to do a live stream with you and the woman that's on the screen." Well, he had the picture of her on his screen when he was doing a video. So I think, and can you correct something for me? Because is the woman white or is she a mixed race black woman?
That woman is straight white.
Okay. No, I'm talking about the woman that was telling her, "Give me back my card," that was filming her.
Yeah, the one that's filming her, she's straight white.
Okay. Because I gotta apologize to my man Lions Den because I thought that she was sort of a light skin, fair skin. There's a lot of black women that look like that in Oakland. Very fair skin, maybe mixed race or whatever. That's what I thought. So now I kind of feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about. I mean, how do y'all feel about her coming onto the platform and talking about the experience? How does the family feel about that?
Just to get some information. Yeah, I like to extract that. I mean, I ain't gonna get all giddy because I'm gonna always stay faithful to my folks. I'm not one. It's like this. On the Phil Advice show, he had invited this white girl that had whooped the shit out of this woman at this hotel because she was talking derogatory to black folks.
Yeah,
and we start making it more than what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, you down, and all that, and that shit irritates me. I'm not gonna they're not gonna get that much of my energy. Okay, yeah, you did good, and that's it. Keep it moving.
So I'm thinking to myself, really, I'm more interested in that situation. Now, Brother Research told me that he wanted to talk about relationships. So I'm simply, I'm more focused on the circumstance that went down on that.
He wants to talk about relationships.
Well, he said something about relationships.
That's some BS, man. That's some BS. Get off of that.
Yeah.
See, that is that shit validating them and making them more than what they is.
Okay.
Get what you got to get out of them and keep it moving.
That's why I'm
Damn.
That's why I'm asking for your counsel here. Okay.
Well, I can't dictate what a man do on his channel. I'm just voicing my opinion like everybody else got an opinion. And if he gonna get into all of that, I ain't listening to that shit. I'm just telling you real.
I'm asking you because I really wanted to interview her personally just about the incident.
Well, then take that opportunity to do that. Have him do his thing, and then you take the opportunity to get exchange the information, and then you can talk exclusively to her on your channel. So I would be on the front line to listen to that because I got a zillion questions.
I'm not really interested in talking about interracial relationships and all of that nonsense. I'm more interested in getting from her horse's mouth the experience that she had with that white woman that she confronted about her racism.
See, don't do anything like I'm saying. Just do anything that's in your comfort zone. This is me on my opinion.
But I got a reputation to keep. My thing is, if he comes onto my platform, and that becomes the issue. I don't want everybody that's following me and listening to think that Information Man is on the interracial stuff.
Well, if he talk, me personally, I don't even want to hear it. I ain't interested in that.
Okay.
I don't even. It doesn't. This is another thing because I talk about our energy, and that shit ain't benefiting us.
No.
All that swirling shit. Damn.
No. Now I'm assuming that could be what it is. Let me be fair about it. He said relationships. Now I don't know if that means just relationships in general or interracial. And now that you said that the woman is actually white, that sort of made me think, is this going to be about interracial? Because I guess her husband is black.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I should just slide on out of this one, I think I might just have to shut it down. I know he knows my man Uhuru, who said he was going to get with him. So maybe I should just maybe I should just take a slide out of this one, Queen.
Well, maybe you could one thing, because I don't want to crush him. Just check his headspace again and get some clarity.
Yeah. I'm just, I personally don't want to use my platform to push that type of narrative. If that's what the narrative is, I want to be fair here. I had told him I really want to talk to her primarily if it is her. See, that's another thing. If it is her, because he said the woman on the screen, and it was her on the screen. I primarily want to talk to her about what went down from her horse's mouth. That's what I wanted to bring to the family when he told me that he had a contact with the woman on the screen, which was her. So, and then he said, well, we want to talk about relationships, and I'm not really in the mood to talk about interracial stuff, you see. And I just want to I'm just giving a disclaimer to everybody listening and everybody in the chat room that Information Man is not going down that road. Don't think that I'm endorsing. I did offer to help the brother out because he got shut down from his live stream, but hell, Mr. Research, he got a lot of connections through this YouTube, so I think I might have to gracefully bow out, possibly. But either way, I'm going to support what you're doing tonight and just kick back and relax and enjoy it. And did you listen to some of that nonsense that was coming out of yesterday when Brother Keith?
I was saying the whole thing because I called in. I was pissed.
Oh God, I was like,
it was disrespectful because he came in late.
Yeah.
And if y'all know anything about me, if you pay anything about me, when I do my hangouts, usually I start my hangouts before my time or right on time.
Yes.
And in the middle of the week, I do 2-hour hangouts. And in the weekend, or if we have a long weekend, I'll do 3 hours and I shut it down. Then what he did was he told us to wait a minute, and on his pompous ass, he was just sitting there twiddling his thumb. I don't like that. I don't give a damn if you got a PhD. You wasted our time. I don't play with your time.
The weather report told me that it was 76 degrees and partly cloudy back there. Well, maybe it was raining in a part of DC where he's at, but I mean, damn, that was kind of an excuse. And what I did not like was the narcissism that was coming through when he kept saying, well, you can speak. It's like, okay, you're going to tell a man that he can speak.
Yes, on his platform. Yeah.
His own platform, you're going to give him permission to speak. That's when I would have ended it right there.
very arrogant, very arrogant. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that
either. And I'm sure you've had your private conversation with Keith.
Yeah. I said, Keith, you don't let nobody disrespect your platform. I don't give a damn what title they got on their damn name.
Well, you heard what I said. If you look at history, no PhD doctors have ever led our revolution. It's always come from the grassroots. We've had plenty of black folks that profess this and profess that, and that's all great. But they have a revolution has never come out of what they professed. It's the grassroots people. Always.
All that CP time, man, sitting up there forever and every time. Oh, I beat right back. You in the middle of the live stream. Tell me what you talking about. Be right back. I can see if somebody had to go away for a few seconds or something, but he was gone for a good 30 minutes.
But you know why? That's part of our problem as black people. We don't have respect for each other. If he was talking to some white man, he would be all on time and be correct with his stuff.
Yeah,
that's one of our problems. We got to learn to respect each other.
That's why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do. Am I perfect at it? No, I'm not. But I don't waste y'all time.
Yes.
Royal.
Exactly.
We're talking to royalty, man. I keep telling folks, go sit with yourself. One day you're going to go sit with yourself. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to go sit with yourself and tears going to start coming out your eyes. That you are that special. So who am I or anybody else to waste your royal time?
Yeah, you're right. So the topic.
I don't mean to disrespect. I don't mean
to. Wait, what happened? Are you still on the panel?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was saying I was getting angry because Keith kept talking about I didn't mean to waste your time. Waste no disrespect to him. No, he was disrespectful.
Yeah, he was disrespectful.
He was filibustering.
He was filibustering the whole damn time. You're right.
On platform.
Yeah. But Keith said that every time he goes in on somebody that they do what he did last night. He did that because he didn't want to hear the truth of what Brother Keith was saying. Black people did not. That's the same. That's that Kanye West stuff. Black folks did not just give in to just being enslaved. There's tons of slave revolts that have took place over the years that we don't talk. The reason why we don't know it, because every year all we spend our time doing is singing "We shall overcome" and Dr. King and slavery. That's our history. No, there was a lot more going on besides that.
Yeah, slavery was never a smooth transition.
No.
Because I had did a video where we was putting glass into people's food, tearing up their crops, breaking equipment, all kind of stuff. We was doing all type of stuff. We was sabotaging stuff. It was never a smooth transition. And I knew, and you could feel it in your DNA. Slavery, I would be in there kicking them kids' ass because they would have my yellow self up in the White House, stealing the food. Oh, I would be doing some stuff. They would be sick. They would be eating powdered glass with lard and all their food so it can cut their belly. Oh, I know some of them tricks too.
Oh, okay.
I used to listen to the old folks. Yeah. See, I'm gonna call it the light skin secret.
Hey, let me tell you something, Queen. Brother Gab, Brother Gab, Talk Media. He's coming out with a new series called the Light Skinned Pro Black, he did a couple of promo videos that he's doing, and he's going into a deep area with that issue. Because let's be honest, I mean, come on, we come in all different shades, right? And we need to get out of this, this whole color complex that we've allowed ourselves to get blinded by. It's going to be is to our detriment.
It is, and we can end it. We can end it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I've heard people say that a lot of times some of your most radical and your most down Black folks, if you look at history, have been, and I hate to use this term, your light-skinned Blacks. I mean, look, Malcolm X. Okay. So if you just examine that, a lot of your most down have been your lighter skinned Blacks.
The reason why we go hard, because we don't want nobody to leave. There is no doubt who we are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We have a tendency to overdo it. I have always been like this, even as a child. My whole family know it. I don't play that shit. I don't. No way. I love my family. I don't care what color they is.
That's right. So I guess, sister, I'll just end this stream. All right. Try to relax a little bit and get ready for your program later on this evening.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to sleep.
I think maybe I need to talk to this brother a little bit more, see where he wants to go with this. And if it's an area that I don't want to go in, then I'm gonna have to respectively bow out. Because I have to think about my reputation. Because I'm not trying to promote something that doesn't agree with the folks that follow me and that I don't agree with personally, So, thank you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the Royal family as always. Okay. And make sure remember to take care of yourself first.
Oh yeah. Just so you know, I've recorded this whole stream today, so I'm going to put this on my podcast, and I'm going to also port over the other stuff that we did the other day. Or I haven't put it all in yet, but I will. So thank you, everybody in the chat room. I guess check out True Royal family tonight. True Royal, the Queen.
Yeah, True Royal.
True Royal tonight on her True Royal platform at 5 p.m. Western time. I guess that would be 3 hours difference if you live in the East Coast and 2 hours difference if you live in the Midwest or the South. Or Pacific time for us that live in California. So check it out. And I want to thank everybody for your support. Thank you. And thank you too, Royal Queen. And
all right. I'm getting off. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love you.
Love you more.